All right, YouTube. Haven't made a video in a long time. So my dad here is down visiting from, I guess it would be down here in Texas, visiting from Washington State. His name is Bruce, and as you can tell by his shirt, he was in the military for many, many years. He's a veteran just like me, and I thought I'd introduce him, ask him a few questions. As you guys well know, on this channel, it's men helping men, and specifically men with, raising boys. And this is the man that set the tone for me and my belief systems, my integrity, and my viewpoint on the world. Obviously, I've made my own tweaks and observations and pulled from that my current worldview and my values. And but this is the base, this is the foundation, and I thought I'd introduce him and ask him a few questions and give his 2 cents on everything. So I guess you could start with who you are, how old you are, where you grew up, how you grew up, and kind of go from there.
Okay. I'm Bruce. I'm his dad. Born in Washington State, born and raised there. I was a poor white boy. Spent my summers running around in cutoffs, barefooted, no shirt, doing whatever the hell I wanted to do. And then school would come and I'd get my one pair of shoes for the year and couple new pairs of pants or hand-me-downs from somebody or my brothers.
What year were you born?
I was born in 1958. And in 1958, you got a dozen donuts for $1. Not that we had a lot of those. My mother had a boyfriend. His name was Sig, and he delivered donuts. He's actually pretty cool. I remember eating the donuts that he would bring, and they were really good. I always thought he was cool. But anyway, that's who I am. I grew up, like I said, I grew up a poor white boy. Lived on commodities. My mother was on welfare. My dad left us. 7 kids. All of us, in one degree or the other, on a potential path of failure. And some failed, some succeeded, some did okay. I think I did okay. Married a woman that, you guys probably you're too young to remember this, but used to be a cartoon called The Flintstones. And I likened my wife and the way I felt about who she was with Dino, the dog. He was a dinosaur. Excuse me, he's a dinosaur dog. And a neighbor moved in that had a female dinosaur dog. And when she would walk along the fence, it was like a waft of scent, and Dina would be floating over this. That was me, floating across the scenery with the woman that ultimately became my wife and still is to this day.
You guys were in high school, right?
Yeah.
High school sweethearts?
Yep. Like almost junior high school. We were 14 years old when we met.
And my mother, your wife, was Hispanic, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty little girl. Yeah. Just absolutely doll. Anyway, she was my cat's meow. She still is, I should say. I shouldn't say was. Anyway, enough about that. More questions?
So, how many brothers and how many sisters did you have?
There's 4 boys, 3 girls.
Mm-hmm. And you're the what age?
Second to the youngest. I'm 66.
Mm-hmm.
Second to the youngest.
Yeah. And your brothers and your mother pretty much were the primary raisers of you, right? You've always joked about me being version 1.0 or 2.0.
2.0.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, my mother raised me. My oldest sister, Sue, was like 75, 76, something like that now. She, if there was another mother figure besides my mother, it would have been her. She was, She was a teenager when I was, growing up. So, yeah, it's pretty much my mother raised me. She had a hard time. She's a really, really, really interesting woman. She's from Belgium. She was an only child. She was spoiled rotten.
She's a war bride,
She
right?
was a war bride. She met my dad during World War II. He was a master sergeant, and she married him. Her parents died when they were like in their 50s. So she was an only child, and so she had no reason to stay there. She met my dad, married him, and came over here. I remember when she died. I saw her. She had a green, like a certificate, like a 8.5 by 11. It was a green card. You think of the word green card. It was a green, all green certificate of
Citizenship.
Yeah, it's pretty cool actually.
Still have that?
I didn't keep it. One of my sisters got it. I wasn't around when my mom passed away. I was in Iraq. You probably don't remember that, but
I mean, I do.
yeah.
but
So
not at the
I
same
really,
time.
I really didn't have. I mean, I signed power of attorney to Hilda, my wife, in case I died or whatever, or if there was anything that she had to do while I was over there. So she died in October of 2003, and I began my deployment in October of 2003. So anyway,
And where'd you grow up at?
in Olympia, Washington.
Yeah. And what was that like? It was, I would assume, the 60s and 70s, right? When you're a little kid.
Yeah, a lot different than today. This is no shit. I would get up in the summertime, especially, remember the story about shorts, no shoes, no shirt. That was me. Summertime, I'd get up in the morning, I'd leave the house with my brother, and we'd go and get with a couple of neighbors, and we would go down to the railroad tracks and wait for the train to come. The train would come, we'd run alongside of it and jump on the train, ride it downtown Olympia. And just before the train sped up, we'd jump off of it on the Fifth Avenue Bridge, and we'd go swimming all day. And
Capitol Lake, right?
Capitol Lake, yeah, stealing
Right at the Capitol. I mean,
Yeah.
obviously, right?
Yeah, and it used to be really popular to swim there. We used to go in and break into the people that were stupid enough to leave their money and shit in lockers. We go in there and steal it and take the money and go buy I remember you used to be able to buy it's like you go to like Jack in the Box, not Jack in the Box, but Dairy Queen. You get the box. You used to be able to get a box like that size box with the 2 pieces of chicken stuff. You used to be able to get that size box at Kentucky Fried Chicken at the bottom of Fifth Avenue Bridge for 25 cents, full of French fries.
Yeah.
Really good, really good. This is just a different time. I could get up in the morning and leave. I was like 10 years old, 9, 10, 11, 8, whatever. And I'd get up and leave. Mom didn't know where I was going. Didn't care. Didn't worry about it. I'd leave. I'd be gone all day doing whatever the hell I wanted to do. As long as I got home at night before it got dark, it was all good.
And so as a child, I grew up listening to a lot of your stories and my grandfather and other people. And one of the things that I've been able to string together in my own head is there were weirdos and bad
Sure.
people back then.
Yeah.
But generally speaking, society would in a way look out for other people's kids on
Oh yeah.
pretty much, yeah, right?
Oh yeah, if I did something wrong, I was going to get in trouble. Not because my mom caught me, but because somebody would call my mom, tell my mom about it, or stop by.
Yeah.
It's like everybody look out for everybody else. That was a really, you don't realize what a wonderful time in the history of mankind, at least in this country, when everybody looked out for each other. You had each other's back.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't tattle. You didn't renege. You didn't cheat. You didn't pick on somebody because they were stupid or they're retarded or wait a minute, that's words we're not supposed to use anymore.
Yeah.
They were mentally challenged, which is another word for retard.
Or mongoloid.
Mongoloid or whatever. They don't call them that either. They're Down syndrome.
Yeah.
Bless their heart. And somebody's trying real hard to to make them better people. Good for them. I don't mean to be a butthole about it. Just it is. It's just the story of the time. Back then, it's just like, what are you, a retard? It's just said that. It was like, it was part of the vocabulary. It's like saying, what are you, gay? It was the same thing. Just part of the vocabulary. And
Yeah.
sometimes people think it's bad, but it was the reality of the time. We were a whole lot less sensitive. Funny was funny, and stupid was stupid.
So a lot of people of my generation, and especially ones after my generation, these kind of stories are far and few between. I remember growing up, you would tell me about going down to the I don't know if you call it the lumber mill or the storage point for lumber.
Yeah, it's a lumber mill.
Yeah,
That's where they made the lumber.
Yeah, and they would float logs in the Puget Sound, right?
That was a different, yeah.
Yeah.
Those logs would be offloaded, and then I remember that was right across the street from my house. They'd be offloaded.
You lived in Puget Sound.
Yeah, I lived right across the street from Butt Inlet, it's called. And ships would come in and just like take like half a day, and they'd come in this way and then flip around like that. Yeah, we'd walk out on those logs because those logs would float over, a tugboat would float them over to the ships, and then the ships would load them onto the boat. And when the boat was full, actually see, like lines as the boat would get more and more full. And then once the boat was full of lumber, wood, off it would go.
Mm-hmm. You had a friend that got crushed, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's probably not a discussion to be had.
Yeah, true enough.
The kid that got killed, playing.
But it's just the I don't want to say you were feral, running around like little wild animals or anything, but there was a level of freedom, and which allowed you to explore and become responsible.
Yeah,
and then learn consequences.
Stupid thing was happen. So this is no shit. This is really, really happened, and there's some people out there, maybe probably still alive, that could verify this. I told you right across the street was where that the wood be offloaded from the dump or from the logging trucks, and then ultimately made it into the water. But they would stack them up, so they'd be like cordwood, all lined up, and you could walk alongside of them, and there'd be, you could see through there, you could see a hole. And on a dare, now think of this. There's those great big forklifts that come along and they go, whoa, and they pick up 20 logs. Mm-hmm. They drive around. They articulated steering, and then they pick them up and they take them out of the water and drop them, whatever. Take them off the truck and put them in the pile. So these things was doing that, coming around picking shit up in the other end of the pile, and I crawled through. I was the only one that did it. I crawled all the way through to the other end. Yeah. With all these logs stacked up on each other, I could have been squished like a bug.
Pancake.
Yeah, but it didn't happen. No one else would do it. They were all chickens when I did it. You saw the train used to be a train come through. Remember I told you we'd jump on the train and ride it downtown? Well, that train would come through, and we would take pennies and nickels, and the wheels are giant fucking wheel, and you'd stick the penny up there and wait, and then the train would run it over, and you grab the penny, and it'd be flat.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just as easy to have lost my arm or my leg, or crushed my head.
Had the penny shot out like a bullet and hit you.
Yeah. We used to jump on the side of the train and be going like 10 miles an hour, and be running real hard, and then jump on the ladder and climb up the ladder, and then go across the trestle to the Fifth Avenue Bridge. And
so it's pretty interesting. I went to the same high school you went to, and we didn't grow up necessarily in the downtown Olympia area, but I had a friend, Tino. You remember Tino?
Yeah.
And
Tinello
Fortunato. Anyway, you know,
we were going to say last names.
my bad. Yeah, it's okay. You guys would drop me off at Tino's house, and me and Tina would actually ride our bikes to downtown Olympia, which was like what, 7-10 miles away from his house.
Yeah.
I was the last of the feral generation because I would definitely not let my kids ride 10 miles away on their bike.
And you know what? I'll just interject into that.
Yeah, go ahead.
And really, the only thing that has changed is the perception of what might be, and the level of control parents try to levy over children.
Yeah.
Children, if raised right, are going to do the right thing. They're going to recognize bad, and they're going to run from it. It isn't as if, in the last 20 years or the last 30 years, a whole bunch of bad people developed. No, bad people have been bad people all along. Way back in the days when we were all riding around horseback, they were bad people. The difference is the level of communications, the social media, the media itself, and all of the fears. If you just sit around and watch TV all the time, you go, oh my God, we're all going to die for some stupid ass reason. Those reasons all happened before social media. The difference is that now, like that, you know all about it.
I agree with you.
Those things all still happened. It was all that bad, all the bad shit that goes on, that happened back then too. It's just that it's brought to the forefront of your vision now.
Yeah, you're right. And I was going to draw that parable. We used to ride our bikes to downtown Olympia, just me and Tino, and one of the first places we'd hit up, there was a pizza joint, and every now and then when they were flipping the pizzas or taking them out of the oven, they'd mess them up, the cheese would fall off or whatever the case may be. Yeah, we'd hang out in the alley and beg for a slice of messed up pizza.
Yeah, I ate a Look bar. You remember the Look bars? Remember a Look bar?
Yeah.
There's like a nougat.
Yep. White with brown stuff
with brown chocolate on the outside. Yeah. Somebody dropped it. It's like summertime, so it's really hot. So it's like it melted. And I saw that sitting there. I was like, and I grabbed it.
Well, you were a little kid, right?
Yeah. Well, no, I was like last year. No, I was a little kid, and I peeled it off, and I was looking around, thinking, it's like, there's like sand and grit and dirt and whatever.
You were a poor kid.
It tasted good.
Yeah.
And I didn't have any money to buy one.
So you were Charlie.
Yeah.
Charlie from the chocolate factory.
Yeah.
We're a poor kid.
When we first started smoking, I remember, going to, used to be cigarette, like ashtrays everywhere, because you can smoke anywhere and everywhere. And I remember grabbing the cigarettes, that other people smoked, and I'd like straighten them out, and then like it'd be like that much.
How old are you?
9, 10, 11.
Yeah.
Too young to be able to buy my own, or to get it, and then not smart enough to steal them from anybody that I knew that smoked, because everybody smoked. And we'd be like, and burn and throw that one away. Get the next one. And we go to some ashtrays would have like 15 butts, and there's always people that just put it out before it's done.
So out of 5 or 6 cigarettes, you can smoke a whole one.
Yeah. It's really bad for you and all that, but
yeah.
So there's a lot of things I did that were bad for me all my life.
So,
including today.
Oh yeah, the cure to and the cause of and solution to, right?
Yeah, the root cause of and the solution to.
Yep, all world's
problems, everything that ails you.
So I used to go down there with Tino, and like I said, we'd get pizza, and we'd actually go down to the docks right there in the Puget Sound or Bud Inlet or Bud Bay or whatever, and mess with crabs and mussels, whatever. And Tino's dad had a auto repair shop. Foreign cars, Jaguars, Mercedes, BMWs.
That guy was so cool.
Yeah, he was a good guy.
Giant,
he passed away.
Nose.
He was Italian.
Yeah.
And we would go through customers' cars, and if they had 4 quarters, we'd take 3.
Like, we'll take all 4.
Yeah. And there were enough vehicles that, you know, sometimes we'd have 15, $20. And this is going to blow a lot of people's minds, but back when I was a kid, you know, in my 10, 11, 12 years old, McDonald's had a deal where it was, and I'm probably going to get it wrong, but it was like 29-cent Wednesdays and 39-cent Thursdays. You could get a burger, you know, real thin little patty and a slice of cheese and a pickle on it or something like that. And we would buy $10 worth at 29 or 39 cents a burger and have a bag.
Gorge.
Yeah, and we would ride back uphill, because downhill was to go down, from his parents' property. It was downhill to get to
on South Bay Road, didn't he?
yeah, something like that. It was downhill to get to downtown Olympia, and so the ride back was like, you know, pedaling and whatnot, and we would have that big bag of burgers, and yeah, we'd gorge ourselves. I'm like, I don't feel good. And that's what happens. You eat 13 hamburgers.
Yeah.
But
we used to, when I was in high school with your mom, you know, I had a 1964 Chevy Impala, 2-door hardtops, cool car.
how much you pay for it?
400. No. I gave my father-in-law. Well, he was just he was just
At the time,
he was
yeah.
my wife's dad at the time.
Mr. Soto.
Yeah, I gave him. We weren't going to say names.
I didn't say his first name.
I gave him $20, and he paid $20 for it. He bought it out of a field. It was a 1964 Impala SS with no motor. And I had a 1964 Impala.
Was that the baby blue one?
No, his was
Yellow.
midnight blue.
Okay.
Mine was yellow. The one that he bought for me for $20 out of a field was midnight blue. And I took the motor out of it, and I put it in I took the motor out of my yellow 64, which was rusting out pretty bad, but it had a really good 327 in it with a 4-speed. And I took that out and I put it in the 64 and into the burgundy one. I paid $20 for it. I paid $160 for the yellow one, and it was canary yellow.
Now,
metal plate.
to give everybody context on what $160 meant to you, what was your monthly income at that time, if you can remember? You were living in those brown apartments, right?
Yeah, my rent was $50
For an apartment, right? Not a box?
Yeah, it was an apartment, 1-bedroom apartment.
With mother?
Yeah, she moved in with me after I've been there for a while. But it was $50 a month. Electricity and water was paid for. My car payment was $50.
What year was this?
1976, 76, 77.
Yeah.
And $5 gave me half a tank of gas.
Jesus.
Oh, and that was premium,
Yeah.
not regular.
Unleaded too, right?
Yeah. No. Leaded.
Leaded.
Premium.
Oh, my bad. Leaded.
Good gas, like 105 octane, 103 octane premium for 29 cents a gallon, something like that. 28, 27, 28, 29 cents a gallon. But I think I made like $95 a month. Yeah.
Jeez.
Like $95 a month. Excuse me. It was cheap. Me and mom lived.
Late 70s, you made under $100 a month.
Yeah, right around
Now-
that. But I was poor.
Now, folks,
we were poor.
here it is, 2024. I personally, right now, make $29 an hour. And I roughly, on average, bring in a little north of $8,000 a month. Think about that. All right, continue.
Well, yeah. That's ridiculous.
Yep.
You know,
I don't do
and,
anything
you know,
super
I mean,
spectacular either.
we have not done anything political, and I don't want to get too far into politics because, you know, we'll go crazy with that. But the last 3 or 4 years have been really, really bad.
Yeah.
You think to yourself, like, oh, I'm in my golden years, right? Because I'm 66, and I make more. We make really, really good money. And if I had retired 10 years ago, I'd still make about what I'm making right now. but I'd be so much more better off. You know, the price of shit just as recent as like 4 years ago was like half as much. You know, we just had a brisket. It's great brisket, you know, and it's really fun. It's scary because, like, you know, you get a $50, $60, $70 piece of meat, you're trying to barbecue and fuck it up. You know, you're not just like ruining a hamburger, you're ruining a brisket. But I can remember when a brisket was like a normal price, not an overprice, not an underprice, a normal price, like on sale for 79 cents a pound. Now it's on sale for $4.95 a pound, and you're happy to get it.
Yeah.
You know, I
And
can
for those
I
of
can
you,
remember being here
yeah,
at the casita, you know, at our house over there on Russell, and we were buying the fancy dancy steaks. Remember that? Those Black Label Walmart
black
steaks.
package, yeah,
Black something.
USDA choice.
Black Label, their Walmart brand Black Label, which was their top of the line hunk of meat, and we were buying ribeye steaks, which is, in my view, the best steak out there. They're about that big around, about that thick, a little bit more, maybe 1.25 inches, 1.8 inches thick, pretty thick, you know, and a great big one, like over 1.5 pounds. It was like $8. You know,
a little more than
$7.99. No. I mean, if it was a regular price, it might be $11.
Yeah.
Now it's fucking $22. The same goddamn thing.
If that, it's a lot better.
Yeah. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Anyway.
By the way, folks, my mother is Hispanic and my dad is white. So for all you liberals out there, he was a trendsetter.
I was.
Yeah, 100%.
It was actually harder for me than it was for her.
Really?
Yeah. White people, and this is terrible to say, maybe you want to edit this out, but white people are much more forgiving than Hispanics were.
Mm-hmm.
Hispanics used to be fucking mean to me. They just were.
Mm-hmm.
I took it, you know, because I loved her. But they were...
And, you know, back in the day, Mom was smoking hot, right? Is that what you said?
She was really hot. She was so goddamn cute.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. It got to the point where it's like, all right, Bruce, you're gonna have to figure this out, right? You're either gonna get in fights all the time, you know, because everybody's looking at her, get catwalk whistle, all that shit. It's like, at the end of the day, she's gonna go home with me, and that's what I finally decided. That at the end of the day, she's gonna go home with me. You want to buy her a drink? Buy her the drink. You want to go for a dance? If she wants to dance with you, go for it. She's going home with me. And once I got that through my head, once I realized I could stop being jealous, stop getting caught up in all that, things got better, a lot easier for me.
Because it was in your head.
Yeah, just totally, it's totally in my head.
I don't want to say that my mother was a saint, but she was
really pretty.
2 points away, 2.20 away from being a saint.
Mm-mm.
Well, you know what I mean.
Goddess.
Not
a saint.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, saint and her never. No,
Yeah.
Not gonna go there.
Yeah. So, yeah. So this is kind of laying the foundation. You know, you went to Timberline High School, right?
Yes.
In the 1970s.
Well, I went to Olympia High School, and then Timberline was built, and I went there.
Mm-hmm. I also went to Timberline High School.
Yeah.
And because of our amazing financial situation in the country, it was relatively unchanged when I went there. And I'm proud to say, at least when my sister was there, I personally have a few records up on the board for swimming. But anyway, that's just a personal note. So you went to that high school, I went to that high school. And, you know, I'm going to come round about with this channel, and we've gotten to learn a little bit about my dad. And we've gotten to see the immense changes. But at the end of the day, like my dad pointed out, it's not that things have changed, it's our perceptions of how things have changed.
Yeah, that's it.
And the perceptions of how things have changed is a lot of it is in your mind. And recently here, I have a park not far from my house, and I dropped my 3 boys off there, and 2 of them have cell phones, which is wild, absolutely wild. I remember a time, and I'm sure my dad will recall this as well, when people wanted to get a hold of you, they had to call you and hope that you were at home, or leave a recorded message on a physical piece of tape called a answering machine, because it literally was a actual machine.
Yeah.
They required a cassette tape,
Anyway.
a little miniature one. Anyway, yeah. So I dropped my kids off, and I drove home, and my wife was alarmed that I had dropped my kids off at the park, and told them they have an hour and a half to play, and they can walk back. Now, to give you some context, 2 of them are 15. One is 13, and the other is 9. And so, by law, the 2 older ones are completely legal to watch the younger ones, and 2 of them have cell phones. But you have to let that happen, And we've listened to my dad and his stories, and how he interacted with the world on an individual level, and the trust that his mother placed in him and society, and also too my own personal experiences.
Wait, you said the trust that my mother placed in me?
No, society.
It's the trust she placed in society.
Yeah, you're right.
It wasn't in any. She didn't trust me. She didn't trust me any further than she could throw me in, which is not very far. She was not a very big woman.
Yeah.
She trusted in society. And society still today. I don't mean to step on where you're going.
No, go ahead.
Doing, but the key thing is that mom and dad are in charge, not society, not the school, not some not any organization out there. You, mom, you, dad, you're in charge.
And I would.
And if you don't understand that, and maintain that idea in your head that you're in charge, then you don't control the outcome.
Mm-hmm. And I would like to think that in your time and in mine, society would reinforce that you need to listen to your parents.
Yeah. Now,
and they would reaffirm
the difference between today and yesterday is that the government, the agencies that oversee these sorts of things, would like you to believe that they know best. But we all really know they don't. Sometimes teachers are not even parents.
Mm-hmm. That's actually
how the hell do you know what is the right thing to do when you don't even have a kid?
Yeah.
I mean, not to take anything away from a professional educator, but a professional educator, the difference between a parent and a professional educator is you're the parent. They're your offsprings. They're your child. They're something you produced, not that teacher. That teacher's going to go home to whatever life she's got, or he, and maybe they're really good people, and they're going to go through the process and make sure that your kid's doing the right thing. But you, mom and dad, you're responsible for your kids. And if your kid's a little shits, look in the mirror. Ask yourself, what are you doing wrong? And if you don't know, then ask another parent. Don't leave it up to the school, because the school is not always right.
No.
Most often, they're wrong.
Mm-hmm.
When it comes to discipline, they're always wrong. We'll save this for another one, but we'll go into what happened to you as a young boy, and what we had to experience with the school system.
Yeah, that's definitely a different episode.
Yeah, because I actually have to go to the bathroom.
Me too. So
signing off.
Another, I guess in closing, it's really kind of interesting, but many decades in between your childhood and mine, but yet at the same time, the places that you hung out with your friends and made memories is ironically the same place that I hung out and made memories. And I didn't live in that area per se, but I got to experience it. And did anything bad ever happen to me?
Not that I'm aware of.
Yeah, me neither. And from the stories that you've told me, nothing bad has actually, occurred. Well, not immediately when you were there.
Yeah, I mean, if you did something that was inappropriate, you did it on your own. I mean, based on whatever you thought was the right thing to do at the time. And teenagers do whatever teenagers think is right or wrong. And good or bad, they get to decide what that looks like. And just like me and you and probably every other teenager out there when they were teenagers or are teenagers, we make bad decisions. Good people make bad decisions all the time.
So my dad is, one of my fans and watches the videos that I make. And, one of the things that I've really emphasized is, be a part of your kids' lives. But at the same time, I constantly talk about, get out and do things or let them do things. And,
do things with them.
Yes. And also allow them to have...
Try real hard to do things with them.
Yes.
It's the hustle and bustle of life takes you away, and, you justify in your head why it's okay to not do this, that, or the other thing with your children. And the reality is your kids, they treasure you, they worship you, and they want you to be everything that that you can be to them. And you should try really, really hard to do that. Because you only have those kids once. When they grow up and leave you, if you didn't take good care of them when they were little kids, they're not going to take care of you when you're an old person.
Yeah, and so I've emphasized that many times. That spend time with your kids, know their friends, know what they likes, what their dislikes are, but also allow them to explore the world and experience things. If you keep a bubble around them, they're going to have a very unrealistic view of the world.
Know their friends. That's key. Know their friends. You think everything is fine, your kid's a good kid, and then one day they get shot, or they shoot somebody, or they just start doing drugs, they start doing stupid shit. It's always influenced by something or someone that you're not aware of as a parent.
Be involved.
Pay attention and be involved.
Yep. All right, YouTube. So we'll come back to this again, another topic, or continue this topic. And again, this is my dad. I've always said he's my hero. He's, one of my best friends. Yeah. But, and he's just always been somebody I absolutely, the last person I ever want to disappoint. Would you agree with that or no?
Yeah, there's a phrase, to the moon and back.
To the moon and back. Or hell and back.
Yeah,
whatever you want to use. So I'm not just making this shit up. This is the guy that raised me and set me on the path that I am today. And how many kids do I have?
6.
Way
more than me. I had 2. I had 1 of each. I wanted 5. My wife wanted 1. We had a boy. We had a girl. And we decided that was enough.
I have 1 stepson, but the rest are mine. So is my stepson, I suppose, to a degree. But, yeah. So I kind of semi know what I'm talking about, to a degree anyway. Still flying by the seat of my pants, to be honest. But,
yeah, I mean, it's a nonstop chore. You try to figure it out every day. It's questions.
Every day is a new thing. So, all right, YouTube, we'll wrap this up. And thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you again.